Hi everyone, welcome back to the virtual part of our open day today here at Ravensbourne. This is our student experience session running for half an hour. So my name is Rois and today I am joined by Bradley, who's going to be going into his third year of games design, and we've got Bryony here who's going into her third year of advertising and brand design. Yes, got them both there, perfect. So do send in your questions about the student experience, student life at Ravensbourne, and we'll be able to put them to Bradley and Bryony today. So let's get started with some questions we've already had. Bradley, I'll start with you. What facilities do you use on a regular basis within the university?
So as a games student, I mainly stick to the games lab itself, or I think it's called something different now going into the new year. I think it's like just the computing lab, where all of our Alienware computers are and stuff. But we also do, we use the kit store quite a bit for like our drawing tablets, so you can get Cintiqs there, anyone familiar with that, and just any other kind of tools and kit we might need for a project or something. We also use the prototyping lab as well. We do quite a lot with board games and stuff, so we're always making, just 3D printed objects to do, that kind of stuff.
And Bryony, what resources do you use? What facilities do you like at Ravensbourne?
Yeah, I think on advertising, sort of the way that it works is that it's really about every single brief is completely different. So I've used almost all of them just depending on the brief. So I've used the kit store for needing to take out lots of equipment. I've used the print store to make sort of physical stuff, and I've used prototyping to make physical stuff as well.
Brilliant, thanks both. And now, as you've both finished your second year, you've taken part in electives. So Bradley, maybe you can explain what electives are here at Ravensbourne to us.
So to put it in the best way possible, electives is a way for you to kind of try something different that isn't to do with your course. I mean, you can do something that's part of your course if you want, but you get a choice of loads of different units that you can take, and you can pick whatever one you want. So for me, I chose one called Design a Play, which was specifically about designing board games and card games, and then actually taking that to an expo and putting it into a competition and stuff. But there's other ones such as like VFX as well, if you're interested in that kind of thing. I was looking at that at one point as well. So it just gives you a chance to kind of expand your knowledge and just gives you a chance to do something different that isn't your course. So
yours was kind of quite related to games though, because you stuck with kind of that games idea. Bryony, what did you go for?
Yeah, I went for the entrepreneurship one, just because they were also teaching about freelancing and how you should sort of set yourself up as sort of a business yourself, because a lot of people in my course would like to be a freelancer when they leave uni, or even set up their own studio, so that was really, really useful.
And kind of talking about entrepreneurship, we can get into careers. Have you taken part in any kind of careers advice, any employability that's been part of your course so far?
Yeah, I have had a few sessions with the employment team that have helped me. One of them was the most useful one that I've been, was about CVs and how to properly write them and what I should put in it and sort of to sell myself the best way, and that was really, really useful because I had no idea before that what I was supposed to do.
Brilliant, thanks Bryony. And Bradley, what about you? Any kind of careers advice you've had, or?
So yeah, we've obviously over the last couple of years we've had multiple talks from student services about this kind of stuff as well, but we recently had industry actually come in and talk to us as a group about CVs, advice to getting into the games industry. I believe next year in year 3 we've actually got a mentoring program that's actually going to be taking place to help us with our FMPs. So we get real time kind of careers advice all the time that way. So yeah, there's always careers advice coming in and out of our course. Do
you feel that you already know what you want to go on and do when you've graduated, or are you still need a bit of guidance there perhaps?
Well, I think I started quite narrow-minded with it. Like I was like, yeah, I'm going to go into the industry, that's it.
Yeah.
But now I kind of feel like there's so many different routes I can go down. I've not decided what particular one I want to go down yet, but I've been made aware that there's all these different options that I can go down. It's not just one route fits all kind of thing. If I want to be an artist in the industry, I can get advice on that. If I want to be a programmer, designer, producer, it's just, yeah.
You're nodding there, Bryony. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, no, I've had a huge amount of guidance over the past 2 years of sort of maybe figuring out which sort of more specific route I want to go to, and the sort of course is set up to help you figure that out. And because we sort of try a bit of everything, and then you figure out what you like. But we've had a lot of industry people come in and give us advice about how they got into the industry or what they think you should do when you're first going in. So I think I know what I want to do when I come out, and they've also been helping us a huge amount with getting internships over the summer and getting experience and doing live briefs, which will help us be prepared for when we eventually leave.
Brilliant, thanks both. Yeah. I think what might be nice for those who are joining us today virtually is maybe if you can both tell us why you decided to go to university and why Ravensbourne, why did you take this route? So Bradley, I'm going to start with you again there.
So for me, obviously I've joined uni quite late. Yes. I'm nearly 25, so I decided to come back. I know, old. I decided to do it a bit later in life. Not later in life, but I did do previous education before. But I came to Ravensbourne on an open day just to be nosy and have a look. I heard about a games course. A lot of other game courses from other unis and courses are, don't really impress me too much. They're just kind of the same kind of thing. But here, it's a new course as well. It's newer than than most other courses and other unis and stuff. So there was a bit of a freshness to it. And of course, the tutors on our course are all from industry themselves. So that really drew me to them as well. And it's just Ravensbourne is just brilliant. I don't know. There's an essence about the building that really captivated me when I first walked in, and it was just a gut instinct, to be honest.
Thanks, Bradley. And what about you, Bryony?
Yeah, I think going to uni obviously is expensive, and I was just looking for somewhere where I knew I was going to get my money's worth, basically, of I want to actually learn something that's going to be super useful, and I want to be sort of taught how to act in industry and what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to answer briefs, and I felt that this course did that perfectly. And I really like Ravensbourne as a university because it is a bit smaller than other universities, but what that means is you have so much more one-on-one time with your tutors compared to another uni where you're really not going to get a huge amount of that time. You probably don't know them, whereas here I literally have 5 tutors that I see all the time, and I get multiple one-on-ones. So that's really useful to sort of have that guidance all the time.
And you came to us through foundation, so maybe you can talk a bit about the foundation course here. How did you experience that? So
when I came into foundation, it was because I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't have any experience with any software at all. I'd literally never used Photoshop before either. So the foundation for me was like a really good way to sort of build up those building blocks of the sort of basic things that you really, really need. And then going into degree, I felt a lot more prepared, and I had sort of had like that foundation that I needed. Yeah, it was really great.
So what was kind of the learning experience like on foundation?
Well, I went into the media one, and then I specialised in VisCom, which is kind of the graphics route. So basically the way it was set up was we would do sort of 1 week or 2 week little briefs, which allowed us to, again, like I was saying on my course, sort of test out different avenues of what you might then go into. And it was just like a really big year of trying out everything, but it was super fun, and it was, I'm really glad I did it.
So a good option for students who maybe aren't quite ready to go into undergraduate and start that degree, but trying out lots of new things.
I always try and convince people to do a foundation because, I definitely think it gives you that extra year to just sort of figure out maybe a bit more of a specific degree that you might not have considered before that actually you're really quite well suited to. I think that's a really good year to figure that out, and
I think that's good advice. Bradley, apart from the electives which we've already spoken about, can you talk us through maybe what your favourite project has been, or your favourite thing that you've done since starting university?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. I've done quite a lot at this point. I think one of my favourite projects right now is actually one that's part of my course, but it's actually also a bit extracurricular as well, I suppose. I'm working on a project for Ravensbourne, which is just a game, which I've been grateful to get the opportunity to make for the uni. So I think right now that's my favourite project. But in terms of actual coursework, I'd say we just finished a unit which is like it's 6 different projects throughout the whole year. So it's 2 weeks for each different project. Yeah, I'd say I like all those projects. It's really hard to pin down just one thing.
That's all right. Am I right in saying you are hosting our Discord?
Yeah,
So you've been involved. How did that come about?
So last year we did this internship called the Welcome Interns, because obviously lockdown was a bit more prevalent last year than it is this year. We wanted to, welcome our new students in virtually and do a bunch of different, events and festivals and stuff like that. So the idea came about is to create the Discord server. We didn't have one yet. I thought, well, it's a great way to create a community and to run a community as well. So I pitched the idea to Emily, my boss at the time, and it kind of just developed from there. It just became a thing that became really popular. So far we've got about 700 students on our one at the moment. Oh, wow. And it's going to be growing even more going into its second year. So I think during this time where we're half in the building, half not, I think having something like that to connect everyone, no matter what, whether you're in the building or not, is super important.
Definitely. And Bryony, what's been your either favourite project, or maybe you had an internship related to university? What's been your favourite thing so far?
Over the Easter break, my tutor basically put together a few of us who wanted to work over the Easter on this project. And we basically did the branding and identity for, it was like a virtual festival where it was a week of talks of industry people coming in. And I think it was just, obviously everything has been online. And I think it was seen as quite an opportunity this year, because we could maybe get in people that were more successful, that maybe didn't have the time to come into the building physically, but did have time to be online for an hour or two. So we had some amazing people come in and talk, and it was super fun to do all the branding for that. And that was probably my favourite.
And so your tutor put that together. Do you,
yes.
On that kind of vein, do you find that you have a lot of support from your tutors? I mean, you already said you kind of knew them all.
Yeah, no, we're all like quite good friends with our tutors, and we have a lot of extra support. We email them all the time if we need anything, and like I said before, they help us with internships. They have a lot of industry contacts, which is super useful for getting into the industry, getting internships. I'm doing another extracurricular. I'm actually doing 2 extracurricular projects this summer, and throughout the summer working with them, with my tutors as well. But yeah, they just really, really help, and they're here to sort of feed us these extra opportunities that are going to help us at the end of our degree. And that was another one that I got was last year, sort of before the pandemic. I got the opportunity to do the branding and the identity for the Ravensbourne degree show. And it ended up being online, but it could be translated online. But that was also another great opportunity, a project that I got to do.
Would you say the same, Bradley? Do you get the support from tutors? Do you feel like they're accessible?
100%,
I guess.
Yeah. At this point, I can go to them about anything, and if there's an opportunity and they think like I'd be the right person for that, then they'll email me about those opportunities as well. There's been many that have come up. 100%, yeah.
Thanks both. And I think something that probably lots of people want to know is, first of all, how COVID has impacted your experience. Both of you were already students here when everything happened and we first went into lockdown. And how have you found that online experience? Maybe Bryony, you can tell us first.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, no one's lying here. I think almost everyone prefers being in person than online, but I think our tutors worked really hard to make it work online and to sort of translate as well as it possibly could be done online. And I've had a really great experience actually, and the quality of projects has not gone down at all. They've actually almost gone up, because we're getting more stuff in and it's really fun, and we've been working with clients all year. And yeah, obviously everyone loves to be in building, but right now I think it's, the online is actually really, really fun still.
And Bradley, I would think that kind of games, it's quite a virtual online course anyway. Did you find it was kind of suited to online learning, or how did it impact you?
I'd say the way it interested games is quite interesting really. I was in building throughout year 1, and then for us to suddenly just switch overnight to online, I mean, we coped well as a course. our tutors did really well to convert everything. Thankfully, it is quite easy to convert games over to online. We're not very practical in a sense. We make everything online and digitally. So I think some found it really hard, and some found some love it. Some people have just not returned to the building and just prefer working from home, which is fair enough. So I feel like there's a real mixture of who prefers to do what. I personally prefer to be in the building. I like to be in a room with people to discuss ideas and stuff like that. But then that can also work online as well. So props to my tutors for really making it work.
So have you still been able to collaborate with other students and or other courses?
Yeah, in fact I'd say going online has made that even easier. As we were talking about the Discord server as well, the reason why I thought that'd be a good idea is that you can contact anyone from any course, just like that, as quickly as possible. If you're looking to collaborate with someone from animation or from fashion, you can just message them on Discord and see if they'd be up for that. So I think the collaboration side of things has actually been boosted from online, just because I think people prefer talking to people online rather than in person.
Yeah. And Bryony, do you think that there'll be aspects of this kind of stuff like Discord, like this opportunity to collaborate online? Do you think stuff like that will carry on even as we
absolutely
come back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the thing about everyone going online, is there is an element of it's very convenient a lot of the time, especially when we work a lot of the time with people all over the world, and obviously not always do you have the opportunity to be in person. A lot of our courses are international students, and being able to still work freely with them was great. And I think I will say about being in the building as well, I did come into the building and booked myself slots even when my courses were online still, so that's still an option as well. Which I found
you like to be here to kind of just get that,
just to sort of separate work and home a bit more.
Yeah, so I just wanted to jump onto that as well. Nice. The fact that now obviously things are starting to return to normal, it's nice to have that option, because we've got that option in games now where our tutor will be, he will say like, well, I'll be in Tuesday. If you want to come into the building, talk one-on-one in the building, that's fine. Or if you just want to be on Zoom or Discord, that's fine too. So it's actually nice to get that kind of option now, rather than it just being like pure coming into the building 3 days a week. It's nice to be able to do what works for you.
Okay, thank you both. This is really, really great stuff. Let's kind of talk social life, university social life. Do one of you, maybe Bryony, you can talk about, are there any societies that you know of or that you've taken part in at all at Ravensbourne?
There are a few societies. There's like a football one, there's a Christian Union, there's a D&D one as well. I know a lot of friends who are in them. I haven't actually been to any, but I think a lot of my social life was, I lived in Scape in first year, which is the halls, the Ravensbourne halls, and that was where I sort of socialised a huge amount, and that's where my whole friendship group, I met them. And then also I have sort of a friendship from my course specifically as well. But yeah, obviously COVID has
changed it a little
bit.
Yeah.
Bradley,
what's been your experience?
So being on games, naturally we're not the most social beings ever. So before COVID, we would just kind of hang out in the O2 arena, or just have a walk around. There's lots of places to walk around here and explore. Obviously the societies as well. I don't think too many of us actually partake in the societies, but I know that the Dungeons and Dragons one is quite popular. I think for us games a lot. That's as far as it.
And did you also stay in university accommodation? Do you commute from home?
I commute from home. Yeah, okay. So I'm purely home based.
And how do you find that?
It's not too bad. I'm just a 20-minute train journey away, really, so it's not nothing too bad. I mean, if I was any further, I would have done halls as well. I mean, I do regret not having that experience, but at the same time, you just got to do what kind of works for you, really.
And I guess with everything that happened, maybe you were a bit glad.
Yeah.
To be at home through everything. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we've talked about what your favourite project is. Bryony, what's been your favourite maybe class or module that you've taken part in?
Yeah, so our most recent module that we've just finished was live briefs. So it was all about real life clients who want a real life project, and it's really great to have that real experience because it is a taste of what you're going to be expected to do in industry. So we had 3 different clients this term, and each of them wanted something completely different. And yeah, it's sort of a way to have a bit of competition with, because you'll each do a project, and then one of them will be picked. And yeah, it's a really good opportunity to have a real life project that's out in the world.
Have you had that experience, Bradley? Have you done any kind of live briefs on games?
Yeah, we've done quite a few. A unit we just finished, which was called Game Design Studio, was trying to emulate a real kind of game design studio feel with these by introducing these kind of briefs. So we were getting that quite a lot, yeah.
So just a reminder for everyone who's joining us, please do pop any questions in the comments for Bradley or Bryony about their student experience. I think one thing that we've had come in here, let's just double check. So what about part-time work? Bradley, you talked about obviously doing Discord. Have you taken on any kind of ad hoc work or just a general part-time job at all in the summer or while you're studying?
So I used to have a part-time job throughout my first year where I worked in retail for just a bit, just to get some money. Yeah. So right now I'm obviously currently a student ambassador, which is if you're a student here, it's a great opportunity for you to earn some extra cash. You can pick and choose whatever jobs you want to do as well. The Discord server is actually my part-time job at the moment, so I'm getting paid to run that server and to build a community up for the uni. But then there's also chances. I've also had the chance to work on another project as well, which I can't really speak too much about at the moment.
Okay, top secret.
Yeah, but I am working on that and getting paid for it. So there's actually quite a few opportunities in Ravensbourne as well. And like I said, last year we had the Welcome internship, which was the first time that ever happened. So I'm just taking any kind of opportunity I can actually get in the uni itself.
I think that's probably a benefit of it being kind of a slightly smaller community as well. Both of you, it sounds like you've had tons of opportunities and things to take part in. Bryony, apart from the internships that you spoke about, is there anything else that you've done at all? Just even if it's general part-time work?
Yeah, I mean, I had quite a few part-time jobs last year, as well as I've been a student ambassador. This is my 3rd year now of it, and I really like this job, but I do freelancing outside as well, just bits and bobs of projects from clients. And then again, like you said, opportunities pop up all the time, and sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not, but they're really, really great opportunities that are really, really difficult to say no to, because you just know that they're going to look amazing in your portfolio and they're really going to help you sort of get noticed.
And how do you get those freelance clients? Do you do stuff via social media? Is it through the university? How does that work?
It's always different. It's always different. Every single client is different. Sometimes they are a friend of a friend who needs something. Sometimes there's someone on a course. A lot of the time, I have a lot of friends on film who a lot of the time ask me to do their sort of typography on their films or the copywriting on some of it. And so a lot of the time there's a huge amount of collaboration with that as well.
Brilliant, thank you. And Bryony, one for you again. Obviously Bradley kind of talked about why he chose games at Ravensbourne. Why did you choose first a foundation and then to stay on at Ravensbourne specifically? Why not somewhere else?
So I came on the foundation because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I was very new to digital arts at all. My school had only offered fine art, so I had only ever painted before, and I knew I wanted to do something digital, but I knew I didn't maybe have the skills to sort of get in. So I did the foundation, and the foundation sort of allowed me to have that time to figure out what I wanted to do and maybe a more specific course that was right for me. And I looked around and I found the advertising and brand design course here, and it was the perfect mix between the sort of creative but also very strategic side of art. It's quite business based. It's very, like I've been talking, we're very listening to clients, what do you want, and it's a really great course. And I had a look at all of the other similar courses out there in other unis, and they just weren't they were very young courses, hadn't had graduates yet. They weren't as good. They were more based on just the advertising side and then shooting adverts, and our course is a bit more of everything, a bit more of industry and branding and advertising, and you can kind of do a lot of different things and teaches you a huge range of that. And our course is constantly developing and getting better, and they take a huge amount of student feedback and adapt the course from the feedback. So I think it was just really perfect for what I wanted to do, and I know I'm in the right place. So
thank you. It's good insight to have. Bradley, if you had some advice to give students who are maybe just now at the start of their university journey, so they're just starting to think about going to university, what would your advice be to them when it comes to finding a course or finding a university? What would you say now that you kind of done it and you're here?
Yeah, I think it's really hard because it's different for everyone, but I think for me the best advice I could give is just trust your gut with it. I feel like you'll know where you want to go when you see it. That was definitely the case for me. Like I said, I came here not intending to actually do this. It was just only when I walked into the room and saw my game shooter playing like Nintendo Switch on a giant monitor and him talking about the course, it was just a gut instinct that I knew that I wanted to do this. So I think just be honest with yourself and, you know, figure out what it is you want to get from this. And if you feel like you found that place, or you feel like Ravensbourne does that for you, then if your gut says do it, then I say just go for it.
And what about you, Bryony? Anything to add?
yeah, I think I would completely agree. I think, you know, when I was applying for foundations, this was sort of just the extra one that I was just sort of throwing in to have for, and then I turned up and I just immediately just realised like I need to go here, and I didn't care about any of my other options anymore, and I was like, no, I need to go to this one. And yeah, it was just a gut instinct as soon as I walked in. So yeah, I really trust your gut, because it will tell you what to do.
And what about for students who are maybe they're going to be starting with us at Ravensbourne this year? What advice would you give to them?
I think just really get your hands dirty. Like, if there are opportunities, pick them up, because you never know what they're maybe going to lead to, contacts or friends or anything like that. So I think just say yes to as many things as you're sort of comfortable with, and I think it will really, really, really pay off.
Are you kind of reiterating that, Bradley? Anything to add? Brand new student at Ravensbourne.
I'd say the best advice is, just because the deadline is 6 months away, make sure you work consistently. And just go for it. Yeah, I 100% agree. Just go forward into it and enjoy it while you can as well, because it does go really quick. And yeah, that's the best advice, I think.
I think I will say on top of that as well, the difference between university and school is that university you really sort of get out as much as you put in. So it is really sort of beneficial to like try and sort of put in just that extra little bit, and it really, really will pay off.
Did you find the same? You went to college, didn't you, Bradley?
Yeah.
Wow, how was that difference between college and university for you?
It allows you to be an individual rather than, you know, someone being told what to do all the time. It's very much, if you come here and decide you don't want to do nothing, then that's up to you. The more you put in, the more you will get out of this experience. It really is what you make of it, rather than you being told what to do. So that is like the key difference, and I think that's what makes uni life just so much more enjoyable than that, because you can be your own independent person.
And obviously both of you have talked about quite a few opportunities, so you both think Ravensbourne, is it a good place for opportunities? Do you find you've had a lot of options?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Okay, brill. Well, I think we're coming to the end of our session now, so thank you to everyone who sent your questions in. Thank you to Bradley and Bryony. I hope everyone's found it useful. I think it's been really great to get your insight as current students, and personally hearing everything that you both have done above and beyond, in addition to just, you're not just going and sitting in a lecture, you're not just sat through a tutorial, you're both kind of making your own opportunities. You know, you pitched the idea for Discord, you're taking part in internships during your Easter and summer break. I think it really does go to show the amount of opportunities that are available out there, and obviously that Ravensbourne will support you in those as well. So thank you both, and thank you to everyone who joined us. We will have our next session at 3 p.m, which will be a general Q&A, so do tune back in at 3 p.m for that. But thank you very much, everyone.